So references, we all know what references are, right? Whether it be applying for a job or you're applying to additional schooling where they ask you to list your references. We know how to get references in general, but what does the reference process actually ask? So in general, whether it be for academic purposes or for a job purpose, references they're very similar in both instances, where the reference process is really one to kind of see if a past supervisor has any red flags about you. And in general, normally we don't see any red flags raised at the reference level, because again, you get to self-choose who will best speak about your skills. So oftentimes the people who are selected for references will say good things about the applicant. The second thing that we look for is we want to make sure what you listed in your resume is accurate. So normally when we ask for your references, we also ask them, where did you meet them? How long did you work for them? How does it align to your resume? And we will kind of make sure and confirm those stats with your reference to make sure that what you've told us in the interview, what you've told us in the application is correct. And then the third thing that we also do is we kind of also ask them generic questions about what the person thought of you, whether they would recommend you for future hiring, what they think are the pros and cons of you, and again, to see whether it aligns with our assessment of you during the interview process, what you told us about yourself. And again, it's another way to kind of check if there's many potential red flags before we consider putting you in a particular position, whether it be for a grad student program or for hiring purposes. And then lastly, the fourth thing that could happen, and it really varies from organization to organization, from university program to another university program, is we may actually ask some really pointed questions. So for example, we may say, this applicant is applying for organization A, and the mission and vision is XYZ. Do you think this person will meet that vision? Or we might say, this person is applying to this grad program. Can you tell us what you think of this person in 10 years and how it would meet our research goals? These kind of questions are quite pointed, and normally these questions are kind of either told in advance of a phone call, reference call, so that the person can kind of think through these questions and not really thought of on the spot, or it might be in the form of an email so that the person can think again and before responding via in black and white. So normally for these pointed questions, depending on how well your reference knows you, don't be surprised for the reference to come back and ask you these questions on how you think they should answer. It's not uncommon for references to go back to their referee and ask, can you write me a draft? Can you give me some bullet points or speaking points? So be prepared. If you're going to ask someone to be your reference, be prepared for them to come back to you with these additional pointed questions, and that you'll have to answer it for them. And take this as an opportunity. Don't be too humble about yourself. Take it as an opportunity to really showcase your skills, to make sure that you will get that position in the end. Oftentimes, of course, the referee is going to have to wordsmith or going to change how they write, because each person has their own writing style. But in general, make sure that what you give them, makes yourself sound really good, and take it as an advantage to kind of put yourself out there so that you'll get what you want in the end. It's not an uncommon practice. I've definitely reached out to a few of my profs before, and they've gotten really pointed questions where they needed help answering, and I took that as an opportunity to make myself sound really good, and in the end I did get the position that I wanted. So in general, when you're asked for references, the organization or school is going to reach out to them to confirm that they actually know you, that what you wrote in your CV is accurate. It's going to be used as an assessment to see if there's any red flags, and also to kind of check, whether or not our assessment is, what they also thought of. And also, it will ask your referee to see if there's any pros and cons about you. And there may be times where there will be some, really pointed questions asked. And in those instances, don't be too shocked if your referee comes back for help. And then finally, taking into context of all these kind of questions that they may be asked, it's always good to find someone who can speak to your skills confidently and also knows what your skills are really well, so that it really comes through in what they actually tell the organization or school. And also there may be times where you'll be required to present your most recent referee or your most recent referees in the past X amount of years. So always have a running list of people that you want to tap into. Don't burn your bridges because you never know when you need to reach out to them again.